Good morning, and this is bean experiment number 1, and I'm using the Marcella beans. I couldn't decide which ones to use, so I just did eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And this is the one that came out of the box. And these are the Marcella beans. They're a delicate Cannellini bean grown in California. It's a light and creamy bean with the thinnest of skins, cooked very gently, low and slow. And all their beans recommend being cooked just enough water to cover, add aromatic vegetables like carrot, celery, onion, and that's what I'm doing. But I want to show you the shortcut that I'm doing. Now, I did soak the beans last night because that does help them cook up a little quicker. And here's what they look like now that they've been soaked. You can see how nice and plump they are. And I've got them in my Instant Pot. Now, I'm not going to pressure cook them. I'm going to use my Instant Pot as a slow cooker today. And just so that I can do the low and slow. And I like using my Instant Pot that way because of the stainless steel liner. I don't want to use a crock pot with the crockery in there because there's supposedly lead in some of those linings, and I don't want that. Now, here's the shortcut that I'm doing. For my aromatic vegetables that I'm going to add to the pot, I'm putting them into my Vitamix blender bowl like this. And what I've got in there, and I'll show you, I've got they were skinny stalks. So I did 2 skinny stalks of celery, 1 carrot, 1 onion. Oh wait, did I put my onion in? No, I forgot my onion. I still need to do my onion. Well, I'm going to put an onion in there, and then garlic, a couple cloves of garlic. Oh, and I put 1 banana pepper, one of these guys in there, and I think that might taste good. I bought those because the ones I get are usually sweet, and they have just a little, just a nice little flavor, and sometimes I'll toss those in a salad for something different. You know, they're a sweet Hungarian pepper. These are hot ones. I don't know what happened, but I put them in something the other night, and Chris and I were just like, we can't eat this, we can't eat this. So I thought if I cooked it low and slow all day, that sometimes helps take the heat out of peppers, that I would toss it in with those beans. And I want to show you what happens here. I'm going to turn on my blender very quickly, and all these vegetables are going to be chopped, and they're going to be ready to go in the pot, quick as a wink. So I'm going to turn you around as best I can to show you. I've got my working glove because of the peppers. So see if I can show you here. Okay, I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to turn up the speed to about a 5, and then I hit the pulse button. Oh, do it again. I can't feel me. All right, that's it. All my vegetables are chopped. I like doing it that way. If you're doing something that requires water, like a soup and chopped vegetables. Oh, you know what? That silly banana pepper still didn't get chopped up. One of them did. Well, good. I'm going to have to do the onion separate because I forgot to put them in. I will do him when I do the onion. So here's how it looks. See how nice everything's just all chopped up? And there's couple little bigger pieces, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, after 8 hours, they're all going to be cooked. They're going to be cooked into oblivion. So that doesn't matter if there's a couple little big pieces. I'm happy. I didn't want it pureed. So I've got a lot of nice little, that smells good too. Maybe I don't need an onion. I should try it without an onion just to see what happens, because that'd be different, wouldn't it? Look at that. Doesn't that look tasty? I can tell you it smells really good. So I'm going to add just a little more water to that. And I'm going to, let me show you how I set it, because people like to know how you do the Instant Pot. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm going to plug it in, and that turns it on. And then I'm coming over here and I'm turning it on. And the first thing you want to do is bring your beans to a boil. So I'm going to just hit the meat and stew, and that's going to start heating this up. And I'm going to let it boil for 15 minutes. It's funny, the directions in the Rancho Gordo package, or in their little cookbook, are really funny, because they said boil them for 5 to 15 minutes and show those beans who's in charge. You know, boil them into submissions, let them know that you're in charge, and then you can turn them down low and slow for the day. And I thought that's a good suggestion. I'm going to let them go the full 15 minutes of boil. Then I'm going to turn my Instant Pot down so it can just cook on low simmer the rest of the day. and they'll be ready for dinner time. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with them for dinner tonight. I'll see how they come out, and maybe we'll just have a nice dish of beans for dinner, or maybe I'll put some of them into something else, but I will show you later how they turn out. All right. Okay, I want you to see that I am now in the low and slow simmer stage for the beans. It was to be covered with 2 inches of water. I put it on that high setting with the meat and stew down here initially. That's what I showed you before. I had it here on the meat and stew, and that got it going, and it started really boiling, and I let it boil for 15 minutes. And there's a number of good reasons to let it boil. One is it does help remove some toxins. You always want beans to have an opportunity to boil for at least a few minutes. But just like on the stove, you bring things to a boil and then reduce it to simmer and put the lid on and it'll hold. It's the same with the Instant Pot. I know people who've tried to slow cook things and they get frustrated because it never really gets going and gets cooking. I think it helps, even though the directions don't say to do this, to put it on like the meat stew setting, get it going and boiling, and let it boil for at least, I'm going to say at least 10 minutes. I did 15, but at least 10, because then you know it's really hot all the way through. Then I stop it, I start it again, and I hit the slow cook button. And this whole time, you know, it was boiling right up until that time. When I stop it, start it again, hit slow cook, and I left it at normal. I don't want it high. I did try it at high and it still was boiling too much. So I've put it down to the normal setting for slow cook, and you can see it's got a really nice gentle simmer going on, and that's just the way I want it. It looks like it's busier than it is in the camera. Let me see if I can come around this way. It's just a gentle boil, just a nice simmer. So it's coming, and I'm looking forward to it. It smells good, but it's gonna be probably another 5 hours before this is ready. It'll be ready, I hope, for dinner time. All right, we will check in later. Well, guess what? Those beans didn't take near as long as I thought it would take to be done, and I checked them after about 2.5 hours, and they're just so tender that I don't want to cook them anymore and have them just dissolve. They're delicious. They're very good. In fact, it made it those vegetables and the liquid in there turned into a very nice bean soup. And I have had several bowls of bean soup for lunch today. So let me show you how it looks. Doesn't that look nice? It's got a nice thickness to it. Very good, very good. In fact, I'm taking a bowl of it to my fitness trainer. I joined an exercise place, and they're, you work with a coach and they help you. And after more than a decade, like a decade and a half since I've actually exercised and worked out, it's good to have somebody work with me and help me. And they're always after me about having more protein. And so I eat all the beans I can to get my protein that way. And not through animal products and not through processed protein powder. So I'm doing the best I can, and this bean soup is delicious, and I'm going to take some to my trainer Jake today so he can enjoy it. And I didn't do anything else other than what you saw earlier. I did end up putting the onion in. Oh, and I've got to tell you, I'll report in on that the Hungarian pepper. It's funny, when you eat it, you don't think, oh, this is hot, but it definitely adds some robustness to the flavor, a richness. And after you've eaten it, you go, there's something warm going on here. But it's not like eating hot peppers. It's just, it adds a real richness to it. And it does make your sinuses open up. So that was a good thing. But it is very tasty, and it'll be interesting. I don't want all my beans to come out like bean soup, but don't know how I'm gonna do it in the future. We'll take it one bean at a time. All right, so that was our Marcella Rancho Gordo Cannellini beans, and it made a delicious bean soup. We'll see you next time.